safe, no worries. We promise we'll protect you if you need anything at all. And they gave me their cards. So it was really sweet. But I have those kind of experiences often.
Wow, wow, no doubt.
Mhm.
No doubt. You know, I'm so gassed up, Cynda. I'm glad that we got some time to go. I I just we're now going live on YouTube.
Okay. Uh,
I'm
hey
not going,
everybody.
but we're live on Blog Talk Radio. We're
Okay.
streaming live on Blog Talk Radio. So the intro that I gave you, it's on Blog Talk. Once that's done, it'll be recorded. But man, I hate when that happened. But we got time to go.
Yeah, we got a frame of time, and I'll give you some more time. So we good. We good.
No doubt. No, I was reading in your Wikipedia. For people that's watching right now, I am talking to Miss Cynda Williams. Uh, she's from all the classic great movies. Mo Better, Dorothy Dandridge, Gangs in Blue. Caught Up, as you see in the background. That's talking with Bo King in the movie. So this is Cynda Williams. You know me, I'm the Lodd Manafess show. Welcome. Started a little late with pressing that button. So Cynda, I was reading and that's quite interesting what I was seeing, Laverne and Shirley, that you were born Cindy but not Cynda.
Mm-hmm.
Now you could have been like, no, I'm not changing my name. She got to change her name. Did your manager or your family or whoever told you to change it? What made you come up with, I'm gonna need to get rid of this Cindy so I don't, have any problems with this woman and just change to Cynda? How did that come about? Why did you do that?
Well, first of all, whoever is in SAG after first is who gets the name. And she had been on TV for years. She was in the union for years. And the reason why they don't allow two people to have the same names is because before they made that rule, there were all kind of mix-ups. Like say I got a Laverne and Shirley chick. She wouldn't want that, right? So yeah. So they started it, I don't know when exactly, but it was well before I started into the union, where you had to have at least one letter that was different from somebody that was already in there. My daughter, she's a young actress and she's going through this now. She's not, ready for the unions, but she's trying to figure out a name that will work in the unions, and it's very difficult. There's so many, people with her name already.
Wow.
And so I never really liked the name Cindy. I've come to terms with it now as an adult because I'm more mature. But at the time, living in Chicago in the 60s and 70s, as a Cindy in the South Side of Chicago, led to a lot of bullying. People.
I'm sorry. Pause a minute. Don't mean to cut you off. Who named you Cindy? Was it
It was
mom's or
my
dad?
father. My
Your
father
father
named me.
named
My father named me Cindy. My mother wanted to name me Rebecca. I know that wouldn't have worked. But I never really loved the name Cindy. I don't know where it came from. My mother
I don't
said
think I I
it
don't
was
think I know a black woman by the name Cindy.
I know lots of Cynthias, but I did not know a Cindy. And
Right.
and
Right.
and so it caused an issue. First of all, I'm different because my mother's white and I'm fair
Right.
skinned.
Right. Right.
I'm fair skinned living in the south side of Chicago. And back in those days, there weren't many people that looked like me. And then I got a name like Cindy. Oh my gosh, they hated on me, and then the Brady Bunch was out, and so everybody was like Cindy Brady, and I hated it. I hated it
Wow.
because my name was
Wow.
so white, and I was trying to fit into this black world, and I'm black. I have a white mom, and I'm half Irish, but in this
Hmm.
country and everywhere, I'm black. Right. And
Yeah.
so it was hard living with that name. I got made fun of a lot. Um, so I didn't mind parting with it. I just didn't know what name I was going to be. And I loved my last name because I'm very proud of my family and Williams. Um,
Yeah.
and so I have two little sisters. Well, I have four younger sisters now, but at
Okay.
the time I had two younger sisters. One of them's name is Monica and the other one's name is Sonica. So I was like, Syndica? No, that's too much. That's just too much. And so then I thought, Cynda. But I didn't tell anybody because I wasn't sure yet. And I went to visit one of my friends in Michigan, and I spent a few days with her, and her mother was calling me Cynda. So
Cynda.
Cynda. So I was like, Lisa, why is your mama calling me Cynda? She said, she's not. I said, yes, she is. She's calling me Cynda. So she's like, I don't know, go ask her. So I went and I asked her, I said, Mrs. Bazette, why are you calling me Cynda? She said, because Cindy is such a cute name and you're not cute. You're beautiful. Cynda is a beautiful name. I was like, whoop, there we go. That's it. And so that's when I decided to go with that. And I didn't look it up. There was Lucindas, but there was no Cynda anywhere. So that's who I am.
Yeah. Another thing you were saying in your Wikipedia about again what you said for your skin tone in the Midwest, but when you came out to my city and borough, I'm in Cali now, but I'm from New York City. But when you moved out to New York, you fit right in. It wasn't a problem. So, what was the main problem out in the Midwest where you from, where they was saying about your skin tone? Like, what was that about?
Well, at the time, there wasn't a lot of interracial mixing, so there weren't a lot of people that looked like me. And the markets are geared towards, at the time, Caucasian, Latino, Black. That's about it at the time, right? I didn't fit any category when it comes to people's perception of me. When they looked at me, they definitely didn't think white. They had no idea if I was Black. I looked Puerto Rican, but I didn't speak Spanish. So I just didn't fit into their perception of my race. And so every casting director that I met said, you aren't going to work here because nobody will know how to cast you. Back in those days, it was primarily commercials and I can't even remember what they call it. They used to make these industrial films and stuff like that. They were like, you're not going to work here because they don't know what you are. So you need to go out to LA or New York where there's more of a variety of people and you're more acceptable. I was like, wow.
Pardon me a minute, Cynda. Now, is this your hometown, or what part of the Midwest is this?
Chicago.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was Chicago. At that point though, I had moved to Indiana when I started high school. I ended up
you lived in Indiana.
Yeah, I moved to Indiana, but there was hardly any market at all. So I was trying to go to Chicago so I could stay near my family and build a career. Although in my heart, I always wanted to go to New York. That was my dream. That's where I wanted to do Broadway. And I love the city. So that's where I wanted to go. But for my family, I decided to try it in Chicago first. And I just wouldn't be seen or considered for anything. So I was like, all right, well, and fortunately, I found this out when I was still in college. So I didn't like graduate from college and then try and then fail there and move. No, I started auditioning for things in Chicago by the time I was a junior in college. And that's when I found out that I couldn't stay. So as soon as I graduated, well, within a few months of graduation from college, I moved to New York City. And right away, things started happening for me there. I fit right in. And there they liked the fact that I looked like a bunch of different people. I mean, literally, there are 15 different nationalities that believe I am what they are. All of them, Puerto Ricans, Colombians, all the Latin America except for Mexico believes I am what they am. Italians believe I'm from Sicily. Egyptians believe I'm Egyptian. Eastern Indians believe I'm Eastern Indian. Native Americans believe I'm Native American. So, that worked for me. That helped me. It would have been much better had I learned some other languages. I would have worked even more. But, and since my first film was a quote unquote Black film, it kind of established that I was a Black woman. So all those other doors shut. That's why you have your Vin Diesel and your, what's her name? The girl from Flashdance. They don't ever talk about their race because they knew that if they establish I am Black, that they would only be accepted into Black roles, and they wanted to be open for all different kind of roles, so that they never pushed that race card. Me, I'm very proud of being a Black woman. Um,
Yeah.
My thing was change people's minds. Instead of this character being this, let it be me. Why does this character have to be white? Why does this character have to be Spanish? There's nothing about race in this storyline. Why can't I play this part? So it was about changing their minds, about accepting a Black woman that looked like me into the role. So that was the road
So,
I took.
so pardon me, Cynda, no doubt.
Mhm.
Let's stay on this right here. So, when you take a role, like, for example, the movie here that's playing in the background, Caught Up,
Mhm.
and I
Mhm.
heard you talk about, because on your Instagram you drop jewels like every day. Like, you come in, and I heard you one day, you were talking about, I just seen this little, we'll call it a fake love scene, as you said, when I was listening to you. But I got a few things to ask you.
Mhm.
Um, how do you, when you pick a role and when you read scripts, are these scripts are to your liking? Like, it has to be like, okay, there's the money there and this and that, directors, whatever, your management. But when you look at a script and when you read it, do you like for scripts to be based on your life? Do you like scripts to be, well, what I mean to say, like, does it has to be in your real life character, meaning you wouldn't read a script that's not necessarily you.
No,
Would you?
I have never, I have, I don't think I have ever played a character that was anything like me. I am no one I've played. I'm very good at playing the bad girl, the gritty girl, I'm nothing like the characters that I've played. Actually,
What?
I played one role in
Yeah.
this movie called Relax It's Just Sex.
Oh,
And
yeah. I
my
was.
and my character was gay in that. And I'm
Yeah.
not
Oh.
gay at all, but her personality was the closest to me that
Okay.
no, I'm sorry, not so much, not Relax It's Just Sex. um it was called When Do We Eat. That was the one. It was called Grace. The character's name was Grace, and I was gay in that one too. I played a few gay characters. That I did this show called Tales of the City, and so I grew a very large gay fan base because I played
Mm.
a gay character in Tales of the City, the first mini series that they did based on that book. And so my fan base in the gay community was quite large from that. It was a very successful BBC PBS miniseries, and so I played gay characters quite often until I was like, okay, I'm starting to get stereotyped. Let's stop. But the
You
character.
know,
Mhm.
Paul me said that. You know what I meant. What I meant to ask you is, there a role that you would not take? Like, when you read a script Does the script has to be something you would want to read or you would want to play out? So is there a script that no, I'm not reading, I'm not
I've
doing this.
said no far more times than I've said yes.
Really?
Yes.
Now is that the gay roles? Have you ever said no to a gay role, or you seen it like, yeah, I could do this?
No, I don't care about that. What I care about is the storytelling. Is the story saying something that's going to educate, entertain, and not hurt people? I don't do gratuitous things, meaning I don't want to do a movie that has gratuitous violence, just people getting killed for nothing. There's no meaning to it. I won't do a movie that has gratuitous sex. It's just sex for sex for sex for sex, but it means nothing to the story. It has to be meaningful to the story. And the story ultimately has to be something that people can watch and walk away from having been entertained and grow somehow. Has to have redemption. I've one time I got a screenplay from a man. He was like, "You gonna want to do this? I'm gonna pay you this much money and blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I can't wait to read it." So I read it, and literally every female character in it was a hoe, and they were all just sleeping with this one guy. And it was based on a true story. And this guy had a sexual addiction, so he was always sleeping with other people. But he didn't hardly deal with the man's career at all. It was like that was all the movie was, and all the females were just. And I told him, I was like, "No, thank you." And he's like, "What are you talking about? This is a lot of money, blah blah blah." I'm like, I understand that, but it's not where the direction of my career right now. So I'm sorry, I'm going to have to pass. And so he says, "What can I do to change your mind?" And I said, "Well, the script has to change. And there's got to be more than one character that's a female. That's not just having sex to have sex. There's no layers to these characters. They're in it only for the sex scenes. There's nothing to them." He goes, "Oh, how about I take out all the nudity that you do? We just gotta, infer that you having sex." I was like, "No, that doesn't change the fact that all the female characters in this movie only think about sex, and that's not real. And I'm not gonna do something like that. I'm not gonna." So he was like, "Write notes. Tell me what I need to change." I was like, "Are you sure? Because you better not ask me for my opinion unless you want it. Because if you ask me for my opinion, I'm going to give it to you." And I was like, "Are you sure? Because you're very close to this project." And he said, "I want you involved. So tell me what I need to change." So I went through it. I read it. I wrote notes. This man was like, "I'm going to ruin you. You're blackballed forever. You will never work again. You C, you every bad name you can think of to call a woman." Because I gave him notes.
Yeah.
And so I just said, "God bless you, sir," and blocked him, And so, yes, I've had many roles in movies that I have turned down because they didn't do anything for me, and more importantly, didn't do anything for the audience. I'm not going to be involved in some pornographic, not to put down porn. If you do porn, if you're into porn, God bless you. But I'm not a porn actress, and I'm not doing stuff just to do stuff. I'm a service-oriented person, and if my storytelling isn't serving somebody, it's serving somebody well, it's not for me.
No doubt. Now you also when I was looking at when I caught one of your daily on IG when you talk about what do you call I want to call it I say your daily advice.
I call it I have my own name. I call it my walk talks. My walk talks.
Okay.
I'm usually walking when I'm talking.
Okay.
I have meditations with sin, and then I have showbiz sin. So meditations with sin is just universal subject matters, whatever's happening in my life. And then showbiz sin is geared more towards entertainment or business, period. Because most of the stuff I talk about on showbiz could apply to any job. It's just
Right.
how to deal with business.
Now you talked about relationships on your showbiz sin. There was one day you was talking about relationships, and you were saying like, for an example, how you and Bo came and caught up, y'all having sex, kissing or whatever, but you were saying that's not real because cameras are there, uh, people are there. What I want to ask you, what is that like for you, for as like your person? How do you feel in your personal life? Um, if you being a single woman or whatnot, and then you do these love scenes, but you see that they're not real. How do you feel when you come off of it, and let's say you go back and watch it, and you sit to yourself and you think like, man, you really want something to be real and not an act.
Hmm. Well, I'm I'm not a method actor, meaning I don't have to do the thing or be the person to act like I'm the person. I'm a good actress, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying method actors aren't good. They're very good oftentimes, but they go a step farther than I'm willing to go. I believe that I can make a character very real and believable minus doing the actual thing. So, love scenes are very, very sterile when you're shooting them. You got
Okay.
multiple people in the room, although they've shifted a little bit and now they have far less people in the room, and they always have a female for the female. If it's a female in the room, they have people there to protect us. Didn't used to do that.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I had a couple of incidents with some love scenes that it was an issue, and it would have helped if I'd had some people with me supporting me. Um, but when they call action, I try to put myself 100% with this person, whoever this person is, as if it is truly us living together, being together, loving each other, or effing each other, depending on the scene, and and don't see anybody else. Don't see the cameraman right here. Don't see the lighting guy like this. Don't see all this stuff. And I have, because I started with sex scenes being the very first thing I've ever shot in a movie. That balcony scene you spoke of with Wesley Snipes, that was my very first scene that I ever shot in a movie, and it was mortifying. It was very difficult. It wasn't fun. It was a day for night shot, meaning we were actually shooting in the day, but they used a filter so it looked like it was the night. There were construction workers working across the street on the building, watching. It was horrible. It was no fun to do. And I told myself that I would always protect myself and try to teach other people that do love scenes how to do love scenes so that they're protected and feel safe. So I ended up being, oftentimes an uncredited choreographer of love scenes that I was in, because
Quick question. I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't want to sound like a pervert or a clown and that like I said. I just want to ask you that part with Blade, Wesley Snipes. Um, how do they with the covers being over? Because it looked like he was like he
Mhm,
was really banging out hard, banging, going
mhm,
hard. How do what, like how do they keep hmm
that from
what is it like
happening. How do they keep that from happening?
from
There,
getting turned on, like keeping
you
up like
the way they frame it, you can't see certain things. Like I said, this is not a porn, so you can't see my underwear and his. You know what I'm saying? In that scene, you can't see that we're wearing underwear and he's just hitting the side of my leg. You know what I'm saying? He ain't doing
Okay.
nothing. Wesley and I, by then, we weren't even really friends. So that was all an act. And he wasn't doing nothing, none of these goodies, okay?
No doubt, no doubt.
And most of the time they aren't. I've never done a love scene with one single man that I had a thing for, that I was into beyond the movie. Not one, not a single one. I tend to go for different types than actors. I'm not into actors that much like that. So yeah, no, ain't nothing real. Now that doesn't mean other people don't do it for real, because there are people that have done it. There are people that in movies, yeah, in actual movies, there are people that are method actors that actually do the thing, and God bless them. That just ain't me. That
Now,
ain't.
when you say, no doubt, when you say Methodist actors, so you saying there's actual intercourse,
Yes.
but it's not a porn movie. It's maybe a rated R, or maybe it's a PG, but actually, wow, that's Methodist.
It's very rare. It doesn't happen often.
Very rare.
It's very rare.
So you say there's Methodist actors, and
they're actually called method, just method.
Oh, method actors.
Yeah, it's a style of acting, meaning the person completely dives into the character that they're playing, and they stay that in character all the time. They call themselves a character. They live like the character. Even when they're not on set, they stay in character because they're that connected to the character. I'm not like that. When they call cut, I'm back to Cynda, Cindy, whatever you want to call me, and I go do me. But some people stay in character all the time while they're shooting the movie. And then when the movie's over, they have to go through a process to release the character. I'm not like that. I release the character as soon as they call cut. And as soon as they call action, I'm in character. That's just my style. I there's no right or wrong style. It's just what works for you. And what works for me is to be it while I'm in it, but then let it go right away.
Okay, glad to know that. Thank you for putting me on to that. The method actors. You said the method actor. And what actor are you? You gave a name.
I don't have. There's no name for me. I'm just an actor.
Okay, so the actor.
I don't do any specific style, because there are different styles, different methods of acting. I learned all of them. When I was in school, I learned them all, but I just do what works for me. I don't do any specific style.
No doubt. So, tell me about Hollywood. Are you still mingling through Hollywood? Do you still stay in touch with certain directors or whatever, Hollywood? And how do you feel about what's being talked about for us, the strike in Hollywood and everything? But number one, I just want to ask you, do you still mingle through Hollywood every now and then?
Never. I never did. You
never were?
No. I was always an outlier, outcast kind of. Okay. I am who I am, and I am not like everybody. And I wasn't a mingler. I was very, very shy. Never was a party girl. I went through 4 years of college and went to one party and left after 10 minutes. I read books, and I'm a nerd. I'm just a nerd, and I've never been cool like that. I've never been in the in crowd, never did the drugs, I just never did all that. So in the beginning, I was invited to the parties and stuff like that, but I pissed people off because I bring a book and I'd sit in the corner and read. And
Yeah.
I'm not bragging. That was not a good thing. It was stupid and terrible, but I just didn't know any other way to be. I was just myself. And I had to learn how to mingle and how to go to the parties and how to maintain my integrity and who I am, but at the same time, open myself up to relationships with people. I was just extremely alienated as a child. I was a church girl, very religious child, and 6 days a week church girl. So I just didn't know how to fit into that world because I was never in that world. I was a good girl. I was a
So
quote unquote good girl.
no doubt. By the way, I gotta say this to you while we live, and I did comment when it was your B day, but I want to say happy birthday, happy belated
Thank you. Thank you.
B day to you and all that. You a Taurus.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, the bull, the bull, no doubt. You
Yeah.
hit with the bull. So, but your movies, I mean, you tell me because I don't know. The movies you do, they are made in Hollywood, right?
Usually movies are either in a studio,
Or
but
Hollywood studio or whatever.
yeah, or they're on location, which means you shoot them where they're supposed to be. Almost, I don't think I shot one movie in the studio.
Hmm.
So I would go to wherever the set was, for One False Move, it was a part of it was supposed to be in LA. We shot it really in LA in South Central. The other part of it was supposed to be in Arkansas. We shot it in Arkansas.
Oh wow.
I shot and I've been in, Toronto, several shoots because Toronto can look like New York. It can look like
Yeah.
France. It can look like a whole bunch of places. North Carolina, New Orleans, Atlanta, New York, Chicago, all over the place. I've shot movies. It's through the Hollywood system oftentimes.
Okay.
Although most of my work has been independent filmmaking, I prefer independent films because I have more freedom to be creative myself. I have less studio heads saying you need to do this and you need to do that. Instead, I have people that I'm working with that are peers that I'm growing with and evolving from and learning from. And so I really love the independent filmmaking world best.
Yeah, no doubt. Are you familiar with the casting network? The casting
Yeah.
network.
Hmm.
Yeah, I work with them. I was telling you that I do production. I'm a producer as well as an MC. I'm also Wu Tang Clan
Mm.
affiliated with Wu Tang, and I had a chance, Cynda, to get my little cameo on season 3 of Wu Tang Saga, but you couldn't really see my face because they had me in the kitchen looking in the cabinet and wipe. They put something to wipe out the tattoos on my arm, but
Hmm.
that was pretty cool. Being in the casting network. So let me ask you this: so far as myself and advice to people like myself. So how what would be a good way to start off casting far as like being an extra or try to get a hold of a script? Like, what's the best way to get on for us in
Well,
this business?
it's a very different it's a very different world now than when I was first starting out. It used to be you needed a good headshot, you needed a good your resume, you needed a reel, which back in the day was a VHS tape or eventually a DVD with bits of all the work that you've done and other things. So the best way to do that was to do as many films, say yes to everything, basically, so you can get film on yourself and compile a reel. But now we have social media. Now we have Casting Network. Now we have Actors Access. We have all these other ways to work. And there's, 50 million different networks. It used to be, the three majors, then there was Fox and all those different little bitty channels in cable. But now there's so many. There's so much programming. And it's different in that it used to be you had to go into a room and audition. Nowadays, everything is you send in a submission tape. So you have to film yourself. You have to
That's
find somebody to read with you.
that's what I had to do.
Yeah.
Commercial. I got a text message when I was in New York City, and the lady still texts me now. She's like, "There's such and such coming out. I want to invite you to a Zoom meeting and come in and read this and do that." But see, fortunate for me, when I was in New York City, I went out to Newark, New Jersey. When they did the Woo Mansion, I went out there and there was people out there and they had to sit out there. So all I had to do was go stand right there, look this way, just stand, be quiet. You know what's wild? What's wild is that, and I'll ask you, say the scene that you did in order for people to hear you and the actors you with. It looked like a party, but everybody got to be quiet and just so you can be heard. And I thought that was quite interesting because I'm like, man, it's a lot of people in this scene. So I'm looking in the cabinet and the brothers that's playing the Woo characters. I'm like, yo, this is bugged out. But I made a couple of $100 just doing that. But yeah, you're right about the headshot. I had to like put some stuff together and put that in my profile, and it was pretty good. But let me ask you, can you tell me about, and you spoke on it earlier, can you tell me more and talk more about relationships to keep? Like, how important are the relationships in your line of work, in your business, to keep you getting jobs? Now, although, and I'll ask you later, although I have not seen you as much, for us in the light of movies or whatever, but how important is your relationships with directors or whatever to keep you working? Because I talk to you, you always working, prior to getting you to come on the show. You're like, oh, you're busy, you're doing this, you're flying here, but how important are the relationships to keep you working?
Very important. Relationships are very important. But
Okay.
the right relationships are more important. So a lot of people think, they can call me and I can call up Denzel and hey Denzel, do this for do that. It's
Right,
not
right.
like that. I saw the last time I saw Denzel was 10 years ago. And he came to see me in a show and he supported me in a show, and that was really cool. And
Sure.
before that, I hadn't seen him for 20 years.
Hmm.
Unless you're working with these people, I don't have those kind of relationships because I don't do the parties, because I don't hang out like that.
Gotcha.
But the relationships that I have kept are with producers, with crew, with behind the scenes people. I
Yeah,
have
no doubt.
worked so many times because of my friendships with people that are actually making these projects. I have heard from people, like there was this dude, I hadn't talked to him or seen him since like 2005. And then out of nowhere, he calls me. He's like, hey, I'm so glad I found you. He found me on social media. I have a movie. I know you waited so long for me. I finally got a movie. Can you please be in it? And I was like, I gotta read it first. And I read it and I liked it. I still haven't even seen it. It's out now, but That
Oh,
is
you did
because
do it. You did it. You did
I
it.
did it. I flew
Okay.
to LA. It was a LA movie. I flew. It was called Kings of LA, I think. And I went back to LA and I shot it. And that was someone I'd had a relationship, or not. I call a relationship. It's not really a relationship, because what a relationship is two people or more people who come together and help each other evolve and grow. This was more of a companionship and an acquaintanceship. I would have a gathering, he would come to it. We saw each other here and there. We met through a mutual friend, and we were so cool. But we weren't like hanging out, but we were cool. And I made an impression on him to the point that he reached out to me years later and said, I'm finally going to make a movie. So it's not always necessarily people you keeping up with on a daily. It's just people that have a good, positive feeling about who you are, and they remember you as being a good worker with integrity, and they want to work with you. Or it could just be because they like you. They like the type of person you are. You're a good person. You're honest, and you don't lie or whatever. And they're like, I'm gonna work with you. And so but you can't bug them. You can't be like, hey, just calling to check and see if anything's happening, because it's very difficult getting stuff done. It's very difficult. It takes years sometimes. But
Yeah.
keep in touch once in a while, throw out a hello. I hope all is well. You know, be kind when you do see them or talk to them. And those are the people that will remember you when they come up with a character that you'll be perfect for, and say, you know what, I got this thing for you. Or in certain cases, like I've had, I wrote something for you. Or, you know what I'm saying? So those kind of relationships are important, but they're super important to really have a good relationship with any directors you work with, any producers you work with, because they're the ones making the movies. They're the ones hiring the writers to write and say, you know what, I want, like Caught Up, for instance. Caught Up.
Oh, you was reading. You was reading. Wait a minute. You just read my mind so well, Cynda. Love you for this beautiful opportunity. This is crazy right here. How can you tell me what was the what did it take for us the details? How did Caught Up come along, and how well did you and Bo King Woodbine, Tony Todd, Clifton, or what have you, but mainly, like, how did that come about? Because that movie, man, please tell me about Caught Up.
Well, first of all, this kind of like ties into what I was just talking about. But Darren Scott was the writer director of this, and this was his first directing job. He had been writing for a long time,
Okay.
and he really liked my work. We did not know each other at all, but he loved my work. So when he wrote this movie, he wrote this character for me. He wrote it for me. And then when he was getting it through, his agents had it and they were pushing it.
Yeah.
When it was time for casting, they were like, in little parentheses in the script, it would say, when it described Vanessa or Trish or whatever, it would say someone like Cynda Williams. So the agent was like, why should it be someone like Cynda Williams? Do you want Cynda Williams? And he was like, yes, can I get Cynda Williams? And so that is how that began. So we ended up meeting. They sent me the script. We ended up meeting, and he was just a wonderful person. And I loved it. And so I came on first. I was the first cast on this movie. And then so the other characters, not the more co-star roles, but the Bokim's role, I was in on those auditions. I sat in, and it came down to three people, him and two other people. And I had a say. I didn't have much of a say, but because it was a studio film, but I had somewhat of a say. And it was really a beautiful experience. It was my one of my favorite films. It
Oh,
wasn't
nice.
it wasn't necessarily one of my favorite films to watch as a viewer. I'm very hard on myself. It's hard for me to watch myself without criticizing myself. So I usually only watch things once. I've only seen Caught Up one time. I don't even remember what it's about. I just remember from other people's comments. But I loved the experience of shooting, the rehearsal process, getting to know the cast, really helping Bokeem because he's a lot younger than I am, and he was new to this kind of character. Well, the sexual side of this kind of character. So I got to really hold his hand and help him through that process. A lot of the actors that were in the movie I didn't get to meet personally, but the ones that I did were beautiful. Basil Wallace, he's just so freaking hilarious and sweet. He played
Yeah.
such a nasty guy, but he was the nicest, sweetest guy. I actually worked with him on the stage too. Nothing like the
Wait,
character.
which one is bad? That's not
The
that's not
Jamaican.
yeah,
Him.
Ahmad.
Him
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. Him.
Ahmad. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ahmad, right? That
Yeah.
was his name, Ahmad, right?
Yeah. In the movie, his name was Ahmad, but he's nothing. He's just like this straight laced, nerdy black guy. He's just a great actor. You would never know. He played a lot of Jamaican characters, the bad guys, but he was nothing like that. Nothing like that. As a matter of
Yeah,
fact, we did a play together. I can't remember what it was called. Oh, the Talented Tenth or something like that. Yeah. He played my husband, and it was a totally different kind of character. But everybody that I did work with was a joy. I had some very uncomfortable love scenes in that one, especially with Basil. And
yeah.
he was very gracious, and we worked together to be comfortable with each other. We were protected. There are these things, I can't remember what they're called. I'm sure somebody in your audience knows, but for your private areas they have wigs. They
Yeah,
have.
that's what I was trying to ask you earlier to
Yeah.
keep from getting turned on or whatever.
Well, yeah, just to keep from being touched. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
there was a really racy scene that Basil and I had, and
Mm.
but he was covered and I was covered, and but you couldn't tell from the way it was shot. But there was no touching. Not. I mean, of course we were fondling or whatever, but
Right.
we were both embarrassed as heck, and but we got through it. And
You,
but
you,
but
you
but it was
know,
a beautiful experience, and I loved everybody involved, every single person. And I maintained a relationship with Darren for quite some time. He and his wife, who was just a beautiful woman,
okay.
but we kind of fell out of touch. But if Darren called me today and said, "I got something for you," I would jump on it because he's just a great guy and a great director and a wonderful actor and writer. So yeah, I think our experience was so positive that that's a possibility.
Yeah, 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 no doubt. Yeah, and caught up. I love how you and Bo King was going back and forth, but it was just so damn hilarious because Bo King is like, he's like, yo, every time I'm with you, I'm being chased, I'm being shot at, and it's with your ass. Yeah, that's so. I'm glad to know that you really say that's one of your favorite movies, and you watched it one time. Yeah, that's
Bokeem, and I will say this about Bokeem. Bokeem, from the very beginning, he was not an actor. He was a musician. He plays rock guitar. He came from the suburbs. He wasn't nothing like the characters that he played. And it's just it cracks me up, the perception that people have that you are the characters you play. He's nothing like any of the characters. Although lately some of the work that he's been doing is a lot more like his personality. But back in the beginning, all these hood roles and stuff like that, dude wasn't hood. And the only reason,
you do? Yeah,
no,
go ahead.
no, I just got to know him while working with him. And he told me the only way that he became an actor was by accident. He had just, I think he had just turned 18. I think that's what he said. And he wanted a tattoo. And his mother was like, I ain't paying for nobody's tattoo. If you want a tattoo,
Right.
you gotta buy it yourself. So he went, started looking for a job, and he saw they were hiring extras for this movie. I think it was it Forrest Whitaker movie?
Yeah, I was just about to ask you. The
Yeah,
first movie was called
yeah.
Strap.
So
Strap.
he
Yeah.
was in a line trying to become an extra just to get his tattoo. And the casting people were walking by, saw him and loved his look, pulled him out and started talking to him because they had not cast the lead role yet. He got the lead role in that movie. He
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
trying to be an actor. He was trying to get a tattoo. And things just blew up for him. So anyway, hold on one second. I'm gonna cough a little bit.
You got some water over there? And drink some of that water. Yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, Strap was filmed in my neighborhood because I'm from East New York. So East New York, Brownsville. I seen them back then. It was like right around the time when you was doing your movie with Spike in them.
Mm-hmm.
It was right around actually 93. Strap. That's when Strap came out. Good.
Yes. But he, people make assumptions about who we are. And, that's one of the good things about the social media platforms is if you want to, you can actually introduce people to who you really are. When I do those little meditations and all that stuff, that's me. The characters I've played, that's not me. Those are just characters that I've played, I've created. There are elements of me in everything I've done, but the personalities, the character traits, all that kind of stuff, that's not me. I'm the girl you're gonna see in the corner reading a book. I'm the girl you're gonna tell your woes to, and then I'll try to listen and maybe help you out. I'm a mama, I'm an auntie. I'm the oldest of 7 kids, so I have.
Oh, that's great because I'm the fifth born out of 7 brothers. I got no
Wow,
sisters. I have no
wow.
sisters. 7 brothers.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I
Yeah.
was, I helped to raise all my siblings except for the youngest ones. My sister Megan and Mackenzie, they were from my father remarrying. But the first 5 were from my parents, and both of my parents worked a lot, and my mom had polio, post polio, so she had a lot of health issues, and my dad worked 3 jobs. So that meant I was the one really, cleaning and cooking and taking care of things while they worked. I was latchkey kid. I
Yeah.
I I had to grow up very young, so I'm not, I'm not Trish or Vanessa. I'm not going to be doing the tarot. I'm going to be, giving you a hug and saying, "What can I do to help? Can I make you dinner?" That's me.
No, Cynda.
Mhm.
Before we continue on a little bit more, don't be mad at me. I gotta ask you, please.
Mhm.
Can I say what's up to Vanessa? Can 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 Vanessa can I say hi to her? Can you bring her out? I want to say what up
I
to Vanessa.
Well, I don't really know. It's been since that's like 20 some years ago. Vanessa and I haven't been acquainted in a long time. So I don't know. I don't know if I could give you her. Uh, I
Okay,
don't even know who she is. She died a
okay.
long time ago for me.
Well, look. Well, I'll ask you this, and you probably tell me the same thing. Between see when I look at Vanessa, she's a beautiful sweet woman, but she was all about them diamonds and getting that money. But then when I look at Fantasia from One False Move, she was a good woman. You tell me.
Mm.
She looked like she was a good woman. She didn't really want to be shisty like that. But then when my man bust down the door, I thought she was cool going in and having a party because in the beginning y'all were dancing and then the guy busted the door. But I want to ask you this: what would be if you had to pick one of the two to hang out with between Fantasia and Vanessa? Who would it be?
Probably Vanessa. Probably Vanessa. Yeah. I think Fantasia was so damaged. She was very, very damaged. She had no self-esteem, no backbone, and she was extremely desperate for her
Yeah,
kid. You know what I'm saying? She was very desperate. And that's a needy energy I don't really want to be around too much. You know what I mean? I don't mind helping you once in a while, but that neediness in her and to look the other way when horrible things are happening. But both characters are kind of assholes, excuse my language. They're not the nicest people, either one of them. Shoot, actually the first few movies I did, none of those people were very very
what
cool.
would be, no doubt, what would be your favorite character that you played? If you could,
Now,
what would be
favorite as in the job I did, or favorite as
right,
in
right,
I just like
right.
the personality?
The job you did, personality, like that you could say, like, you know what? You could show your daughter if you didn't already tell your daughter, like, this is the character, my favorite one. Like, what would be the personality one that you like? If it's not Fantasia or Vanessa or what have you, or even Clark. But go ahead.
To be honest with you, I've done a lot of theater also. And there was a role that I played in, it was a show called Immediate Family from a local Chicago writer, director. Well, he didn't direct it. Felicia Rashad directed the play. I did it twice. I did it in Chicago and then I did it in LA. Um, and I don't even remember her name, but I loved this character. She was an alcoholic.
Mm,
So there was a lot of places to go with that kind of character. She, like me, came from an interracial background. She had issues with her father. She wanted to know her family. She was very a woman, a worldly woman. She lived abroad. She did not live um, because it was the stage. The work that I had to do to create a person that would connect to people in an audience far away. Um, I fell in love with that character. And I played her a bunch of different ways, even though I said the same lines and did the same blocking. Every time I did that girl, she was different.
and what movie is this?
It wasn't a movie, it was a
Oh no,
play.
theater. It's theater.
It was a
It's a play.
play.
Okay.
It was a play. Now, if you're going to ask me about the movies I've done, ah man, I think Grace in When Do We Eat was one
I
of
gotta
my,
see it.
yeah, that was one of my favorites. It's an ensemble piece. I was just a part of, I think it may be 7 or 8 cast members. Um, and I loved that character. I loved it. And she was most like me of all the characters I've played,
Okay.
although she was gay.
Mm,
Her personality was reminiscent to me. And so I'd say for the movies, Grace in When Do We Eat is one of my favorites. And I thought it's a comedy. So I got to show a little bit of my comedic skills. And I haven't really had an opportunity to do that. I haven't been in many comedies. And I'm good at comedy. Uh,
really? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
but because of the success of the earlier dramatic work I did, that's, you kind of get stuck in things. But I have rhythm. I have good timing. But I can pull off a dark, gritty character any day. I can cry in 2 seconds. I'm really good at that. So people just don't even think of me for comedy. So When Do We Eat was a comedy, and I had a couple of fun moments in that, and I worked with a phenomenal cast. So I'd say When Do We Eat? I really thought I was good in that.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what's new right now besides your walk with Cynda? When can we all see you back on the big screen? When can I go into the theaters and pay you my money so I can watch you on the big screen? Like, when will you be back in theaters?
I don't
Or if you
know.
work on it
I
in the future,
I
whatever.
I am probably attached to no less than 20 movies. It's just when will they get made or when will they get released? I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know. I'm different now. I'm in a different age category. I'm not going to be your ingenue. I'm going to be in smaller roles, maybe, unless somebody gets brave and does a movie with a woman over 35. Um, so that's an issue for me. Um, right now, the little screen, the television is where you get paid.
Okay.
So I don't know. I got a call from my manager the other day asking my availability for this summer into next year. So that could be something. I'm definitely going to be in a movie, shooting my character in a movie in August. I'm
You
attached to
going
a whole bunch of stuff, so I don't know.
so basically I'll probably see you on Prime, Netflix, or Hulu. So
Possibly.
okay.
Yeah, or but you know what? If you follow me, you will know. If you
Oh,
follow
well, good.
I announce it, I share what I'm doing at all times with everybody. So, you just want to check me out, you can always look me up and find out what I'm doing or what I have coming out. Because your guess is as good as mine. Right
Mm.
now, I'm doing more behind the scenes than I am in the things. My bread and butter comes from writing. I'm a writer. And shoot, I'm actually getting a little overloaded with scripts right now that I'm writing for other people, not
Good.
my own, the scripts for other people.
Okay.
I'm a production consultant, producer, consulting producer on several projects. I'm even
Okay.
working on a concert series here in Chicagoland, putting on concerts behind the scenes and production for that. I really enjoy every aspect of entertainment, not just the one where I'm seen. I really want to be in a position to help other people, young people, older people that haven't had the opportunities I've had. I've written my own spec projects because I want to see different kind of people working. I have several projects that hopefully one of these things I've written gets made so that it opens the door for some of the projects I've written on my own from my own imagination, not somebody paying me to write, but me. So I can see some great people do some amazing work because I think I'm a better writer than I am anything else. So,
Well,
you know,
you definitely a great actress.
thank
Although you say what you say, you are a great actress. Right. As a matter of fact, I've been trying to search um Lost Spirits.
Spirit Lost. Yeah.
That's you and Leon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that movie. I have yet to email you, but I definitely going to email you because I'm a producer and I do some real nice. Are you familiar with Boom Bap, Cynda? Are you familiar with Boom Bap? Do you know what that is?
Uh-uh. Mm-mm.
Okay. First off, do you like hip hop?
Love it.
Now, not rap music. There's a difference between
No.
rap and hip
Uh-uh.
hop.
I'm not talking about rap. I mean, there are some rap. I love conscious rap. There's some rap when I understand what they're talking about and it moves me. Yeah. I do like it. I even like some trap if it, depending on what they're talking about in the song. For me, it's all about the storytelling. It's all about the lyrics. It's all about what you're saying,
Right.
and then does it move me? Does it make me move? And so yes, I'm a hip hop. I'm a '90s girl. That was my era.
Oh,
That was my time.
so
So
you like Wu Tang and KRS-One.
yes,
Okay,
definitely.
'cause that's my style of hip hop. Those are the type of beats I make. I got a
Mhm.
website, so I would definitely love Cynda to work with you. I go by the name, as you know, Red Jacket Killer is the production name,
Mhm.
and Radar Van is the MC. So I'm an
Mhm.
MC, a producer, and as well, I do my podcast, Lodd Manafess, but I got a nice load of rugged beats. I can also make jingles, do some jingles and etc. But yeah, I definitely would love to get the opportunity to work with you on, letting you hear, some beats or what have you. And it's interesting that you said what you said for if the directors are looking for a 35-year-old youngin' or whatever, people, it's like for us as black people, we are the only people that would say, yo, you too old to be making beats. Oh, you too old to be rap. Like you don't hear the Beatles and Bon Jovi, they don't go through that. But it's
Mhm.
us, we the only one to be like, oh, you too old for that. No, no. This
Mhm.
hip hop is a grown man's game. You might
Mhm.
you might want to say that um rap or hip hop is for the youngins. No, hip hop is it's a grown man's game.
I
And
mean, if you do it right, to me, it's absolutely a grown man's game because while a young person has a lot of life they've lived and they can rap about it or whatever, but there is nothing like the experience of someone who has actually lived long enough to go through phases in life and share through their lyrical style with a beat. It can change lives. So why shouldn't a grown man do hip hop? It doesn't make any sense for them not to.
no doubt,
Hmm.
no doubt. Yeah, you got a beautiful daughter, by the way.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Thank you.
beautiful daughter. I see y'all had a good time on your B day. I seen the gathering of the
Yeah.
pictures and all that.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
joy. That's the joy right there. That little girl. I didn't even know I needed that chick in my life until I had that chick in my life. I didn't know I could have kids. She was unexpected. And I had tried for years to have a child and I couldn't. And I didn't. So I thought I couldn't. So when she came into my life, it was like, what? And it changed everything for me. I didn't have even a brief moment of hesitation to walk away from my career for a while
yeah,
because that girl means the world to me. And she's an adult now, and I try not to be attached to her because she's got her own life. She's living, she's doing her thing, but I'm telling you, that's my person right there. That girl is she brings me so much joy. And when she's going through hard times, boy, it breaks me down. And I have to always remember I've been through so many hard times and I am fine. And so will she be, So I just try to let that stuff go. Okay, see it, guide her if I can, but see her in the best possible light. And I'm very blessed to have her. Very
hey,
blessed.
I feel you, and I can second on that because I got 5 daughters and 1 son.
Ah.
So, and my youngest, she just turned 21, and I was telling you when we was gonna do this podcast a while ago. I left New York. Now I'm in Cali. So, Cynda, this is the first time that I'm living alone. Never lived alone before because I had my 21-year-old and I had my 24-year-old daughter. We were all living together. My daughter's like, Dad, I am not moving to no California. You
Mhm.
go by yourself. I'm staying in New York, so I feel you when you say what you say. Because my daughter, she's 21. She resilient. She want to do her thing. I call her, check on her, see how she does. Like that. You calling me every day. I'm like, yeah. What you think what I'm not gonna do? I gotta call you every day just to see.
Yeah,
Just,
it took me about 2 years to stop crying. I had empty nest horribly bad. Oh my God, because she's my only kid. And I was devastated. I lost her to the world and to life. And I lost both my parents, who I was very active in their lives at the same time. So it was a lot for me. And
you
it took
lost your
me
mother and your dad.
within a year of each other during COVID. They didn't die of COVID, but they passed during COVID. And so I didn't really get to see them because of COVID. And it was a major loss for my family. And then my daughter went away to college at the same time, and she was always very independent. She always had her own thing. She was never like mommy, mommy, mommy. She's more mommy, mommy, mommy now than she ever was growing up. But to lose them all in some way or another at the same time, it was a they say that people have the dark night of the soul. I had it. I was for about a year. Man, it was a hard time for me. I was alone. Talking about living alone. I was living alone, 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 and nobody around and no way to get anywhere. It was a horrible year. But it was a beautiful year because I processed old baggage that I'd been holding on to. I healed a lot. I'd been with one man, went from one man to another, to another, to another, all these relationships. It was the first time that I was sitting still. I wasn't trying to be with nobody, and I was just trying to figure me out. And it was a
Yeah,
good
you
time.
briefly talked about that. I caught one of your showbiz saying you talked about when you meet someone and you hoping that it would be something and then find out that nothing there. Yeah, you were saying that on one of your walk with Cynda. Let me ask you this. Um, you still have a voice. Like you still have that nice voice with you. Are you ever thinking about recording something?
All the
Like
time.
you
All the
recording
time. I've worked with so many producers. Um, I'm actually working now with a producer in
EP.
Chicago. Yeah,
Like maybe you could do an
and
EP, an EP or
yeah,
something.
exactly. I actually right before I started getting ready for tonight, I was speaking to him because I wanted to do house music. I I
Oh,
I have never I left Chicago before the house sensation. I moved to Indiana, so I missed it. But when I moved back to Chicago last year, I went for my birthday last year to this house club, not knowing that's what it was. And I danced for 7 hours straight. I love to dance. And
you
I
can still
love.
do it. I know that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I danced for 7 hours straight. My sisters were like, "You making us look old. Stop." And I just love it. And I have a really good friend, Dantes Alexander, who does that style of music. And he's done quite well internationally. And I was like, you know what? I want to do this. I want to do this. So I'm working with a guy now. His name is Stan. Stubbs here in Chicago, really phenomenal musician of a bunch of different styles, gospel, house, R&B, soul,
Yeah.
everything. He does everything. And we're working together behind the scenes on some stuff. We have a little company that we're putting on concerts and stuff, but we're also going to go in the studio and we're going to do some writing and do me an EP, a house EP. Mhm.
I wonder that congrats on that. I wonder it would be ill and nice if you feel one of my nice boom bap beats
Mm-hmm.
and see if you could just just have something nice on a banging kick and a snare. Because I am what you call, I'm a sample producer, but
Okay.
most of the time, send it when you sample. Keep it real with you. I'm not gonna be able to pay for the sample, but
Mm-hmm.
I got a drum machine that doesn't allow you to sample, where I
Mm-hmm.
could just get original and make some beats, but you never know. Um, say a beat goes out there, and let's say if I get contacted by the higher up or that person that said, "Oh, you sample my stuff," that mean I made it. That mean
Right. I hear you. I hear you. Hmm. That means you made
but
it for sure.
yeah, no doubt.
Hmm.
So basically, what I learned from you is, okay. Number one, you, like I said, I believe. I don't even think. I believe you are a great, phenomenal actress. Although you say you feel like, okay, your writing is where you get it in. You write people more than yourself. You write. Uh, you work. You're getting ready to work on in the future. You're getting ready to work on some up and coming movies and stuff. So yeah, I learned a lot about you and things that you're doing. Your theater, and that's what you're doing now. When I called you, you on tour. You're doing theaters and stuff now. That's what you're doing now, right?
No, no, I'm writing right now. I'm writing right now. I'm
Okay.
working. We're working on. We have some concerts coming up this fall that
Okay.
we're
Right. Right.
putting on. Some, like we got Babyface coming in and some old schoolers. Because we got a lot of people that love that '90s vibe, and especially here in Chicago. And then also we're also doing a tour with some of our shows, and eventually we're going to do some of my shows that I've written for the stage. So
So you're writing songs for people.
songs, I'm writing
Script. You're writing script.
scripts,
Woo!
songs, all of that. Yeah. Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Hmm.
Wow. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
Send a big up.
Thank you
That
so
that
much.
that is great. That is great. Wow. No doubt. That is great. So basically, we just I'm gonna be on, and I'm sure everybody we gonna be on standby. Like you said, we following you. So when you let us know that you on a big screen, the big TV screen or whatever, Netflix, Hulu, uh, we'll definitely be on the lookout. Let me ask you one more question before
Mhm.
we break out. Uh, you did TV series?
No. Mm-mm.
Because I saw movies on, like when I Google you, I see the movies and TV series.
Well, I've been in as guest stars, and I've actually shot pilots that did not get picked up. But
Oh,
many series I've done, several television movies I've been in, but I've never been a lead character in any series or even a recurring role. I've like I said, I did pilots, but they didn't get picked up. So that is an arena that I don't really know anything about. I've just pretty much mainly done films for television and films for movie, for the big screen. Hmm.
okay, okay, no doubt. Well, thank you for this opportunity to talk to you. This is just, man. This is better than all my other rap MCs that I brought on. See, I caught you. Well, you didn't correct me, but I did say that you were a Hollywood actress.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did say you were a Hollywood actress, although because you've been in Hollywood, but as you
Mhm.
said, you didn't go to parties you didn't do none of that. So,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Yeah, I have been offended by that sometimes, because
yeah.
there are people that will say,
Forgive me for that because
no,
I
no,
went
no, no, no,
trying to say
no.
it in
I
a bad
wasn't.
way.
No, because you did not mean it in a negative way. There are people that
No,
say, you so Hollywood, you all Hollywood. People like that, that's offensive because I'm not that. You know what I'm saying? But did I live in Hollywood for 20 some years? Yes. Did I work in Hollywood for 20 some years? Yes. I am very much proud of that time that I spent there. I loved the city. I loved being there. I had a great time and I appreciate it. But I'm not of that world. I'm not of the Hollywood world. What's that saying? You can be of the world but not in it.
in the world, right? You can be
In the
of the
world
world,
but
but
not
not in
of
the
it.
world.
That's it.
Right,
In the
yeah, yeah.
world but not of it.
Right,
That was
right.
me. I was in that world but I wasn't of it. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Well, I'll let you go. Thank you for showing me love and spending time to the movies over
I was
now.
just gonna say that what perfect timing. The movie is over. I got to see stuff I didn't want to see, but
Thank you for the classics that caught up. Like I'm still gonna look and check your other movies, but like I said, um, I didn't become a fan of yours. I'm a Cynda Williams fan. 1998 caught up. I made sure I went to go see that. Bo Keem and them, and then when I saw you, I'm like, oh yeah, yes. It's like, my man, oh, that's something from Old Bet. I'm like, yeah, but caught up is where it's at. So thank you for the classic. Thank you, and we could continue to watch it and watch them until you come with more classics. And would love to see you and Bo King work again. Would
so
love
would
to see
I.
you.
You never know. You never know. He's a
Never
great
know.
guy. I would love to work with him. Thank you so much for having me on. Continued success for you. Keep in touch. Send me some music. You never know. You never know.
Before you
Mhm.
go, one more again. All your social medias.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So check me out on Instagram under Cynda Will. I'm on Facebook. I have set 3 pages that are mine. There's a bunch of pages that aren't mine. But there's the Cynda Williams page, which is verified. Then there's the Cynda Will. And then there's the official fan page of Cynda Williams. And then there's TikTok on there, Cynda Williams 615. I'm on all of them. I'm on MySpace even. uh, I'm on MySpace. That was my first. I'm on Twitter. I just don't check it, but I've been being schooled. I have an interview with Black Twitter. I've never done anything with Black Twitter. I'm going to redo that.
Okay.
So I'm on it. I'm on all, well, not all of them, but most of them. If you put in Cynda Williams, you could probably find me anywhere. Please follow me and say hi. I actually uh, communicate with folks because I've always believed that's why I joined social media is to have a connection to the people. But I'm terse, so please understand that I'm not going to have a full book for you. I'm going to say great. I'm going to say hi, how are you? And if you got something for me and we can communicate about some business, we will. But I'm on there, so come check me out.
Hold on.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for having
much.
me, sir. Appreciate you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much. We
Mhm.
be in touch, no doubt. I'm gonna email you.
All right. God bless you. And God bless your audience. Thank you for joining us.
No doubt. Peace, Cynda.
Bye.
Yeah. But there you have it. Cynda Will, baby. Word up. Let me see if I can play a joint on Blog Talk Radio since we here. See if I can play a joint. See if I can play a joint for the Lodd show. Shoot. We got right here. Hold up. Playing a joint for a minute. Yeah. Yeah, real hip hop for life, baby. But yeah, shout out to Cynda Will. Hanging out and showing the radar van, the Lodd Manafess love. She was mad cool. She's a writer. She's doing a lot of writing, you know, writing songs and writing scripts. She's getting ready to do movies. So yeah, shout out to her. Hold up, shout out to Cynda Will. Hold up. I'm playing music in the background, so I don't know if y'all can hear that. I'm still on Blog Talk Radio. Yeah. Yeah. Great interview. Hold up. Yeah. So this part where I'm playing some hip hop and all that. Word up. It's my man Rock Marciano. Get ready and play the next joint. Hold up. Play one of my beats. What's your name? Case, what's going on? Come on. Oh. Yeah. No doubt. Hold up. Hold up. Blog Talk Radio, the Lodd Manafess Show, and then live on YouTube. I also have a new YouTube channel, the one and only Radar Van. So I'm gonna be popping that one off. So be on the lookout for that. Then I'm gonna start banging out live on YouTube. Shut up and, go live and all that. You know what I mean? Hold up. Yeah. Hold up. So as you know, I'm not in New York City no more. I'm out on the left coast, right here in my beautiful condo, as you see, doing my thing. So anyway, as you know, today's mathematics is knowledge. This is June 1st. As you already know, knowledge is the accumulation of facts through observant learning and respecting knowledge. Knowledge is the foundation of all things in existence, for it must be known in order to make it manifest. Of knowledge is the light that's given off by the sun. Sun is the foundation, which is the solar system. Knowledge is to know, look, listen, learn, observe. Knowledge is to respect. Knowledge is the black man. That's today's mathematics, is knowledge. You know what I mean? So long as you know that, we on. So I'm gonna get up out of here. Say peace. Shout out to Cynda Williams. Yo, I can't believe, son, in the background, right there, you know what I mean, on the local TV, I was playing Caught Up while talking to the main actress, the main female woman, Cynda Williams, who was known as Trish, and Vanessa Caught Up the movie playing in the background while I'm talking to her live on the Lodd Manafess show. Son, that is so fucking huge. Now, what if Cynda Williams had billions and millions of followers like 50 Cent, Will Smith, and them? She probably would have never even seen my mention. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I hope she's my first actress to talk to on my show. I hope she won't be the last. I hope I can talk to more actors and actresses, as well as getting more MCs on my show here, the Lodd Manafess show. And I said earlier, I got a new YouTube page because the Radar Van YouTube, I done got striked and struck and shot and no more. So I got the one and only Radar Van YouTube channel. I haven't posted anything yet. I'll take some clips from this right here. This is the Red Jagged Killer YouTube, where it's strictly for beats, but I'm gonna start going live and banging out beats and everything on this joint right here. You know what I mean? So let me get up out of here. Where's my Lodd intro? We play the Lodd intro, then we're gonna get up out of here. Lodd Manafess. Let's go.